When the white smoke rose from the Vatican, the whole world held its breath waiting for the new pope to appear. But what truly lies behind the halo of St. Peter? The first names chosen by Pope Francis were not merely routine appointments. They are clues, unsolved mysteries, waiting for someone to uncover. Who are the ones you trust to entrust with the responsibility of leading the Church through the challenges of the times? Will these choices open the door to a bright future, or will they become trials that stir anxious unease in the hearts of Catholics? Join us in exploring the mysterious world, where every name is an echo from the past. A foreboding sign of the future and a chilling warning that the Church stands at a fateful turning point. Pope Leo XIV was elected during a time of global upheaval. And the fierce longing for sacred transparency began its era by selecting 5 individuals. Their story is deeply reflecting your own life. These appointments go beyond just the usual assignment of tasks, and is a sign that he wishes to guide the future of the Church. Let's explore who these 5 individuals are and their connection to the new Pope. To reveal something about the future of the teaching profession, the 5th person is Father Edgar Ivan Remacuña Eninga, whose heart always remains close to the Holy Father. Father Edgar was born in Chiclayo, Peru and was formerly a seminarian, under the pastoral guidance of Bishop Robert Pavost. At that time, no one knew him by the name Leo Morton, because the future Pope had recognized in Father Edgar a rare quality: the sacred silence, insightful wisdom, and a heart nurtured by simplicity. Their relationship grew not amidst the grand palaces of Rome, in the dusty little chapels, the parish visits, and the peaceful hours spent together herding the buffalo. Over time, Father Edgar was not only a helper but also became a shining example for everyone to follow. He is the one whom the bishop can trust to entrust all matters to. The one who understands his silent burdens, who needs no title to be loved and trusted. When Duke Pavost was summoned to Rome, he brought Father Edgar along. Not for the sake of appearances, but for genuine presence. When the white smoke rose, the Church joyfully welcomed its 14th Pope. One of his first quiet acts was to officially appoint Father Edgar as his private secretary. This role is more important than people usually imagine. Father Edgar is a priest who carefully considers every message and thoughtfully arranges every moment. And always standing by the Pope, both before and after every decision, every Mass, every encounter. He walks behind the Pope in public events and quietly accompanies him when the crowds have dispersed. But what makes this relationship special isn't just the closeness. That is the deep, heartfelt bond that comes from the very core of one's being. Father Edgar is the one who keeps the rhythm of the sacred melodies. He knows well when to speak and when to remain silent. Do you understand why the Pope shed tears? What troubles you? What brings you peace? He reminded Pope Leo XIV of the missionary journeys in Peru. About the times of hearing confessions, about the destitute people who knelt before them. Amid the diverse and complex landscape of Vatican leadership, Father Edgar was the anchor that helped him stay grounded in life's simpler things. Deeply Marian in spirit, yet profoundly human, this appointment took place quietly, without any fanfare or deliberate attention-seeking. That is an act of loyalty. By choosing someone who still clearly remembers who he was before ascending to the throne of Peru. The Pope ascended to the throne at the age of 14. Ensure that your dynasty never loses its way. In a world that always prioritizes strategy, he found a kindred spirit, a companion who shares the same aspirations. And that could make a big difference. Cardinal Balda Sariraya, the 4th-ranking prelate, is both a defender of the faith's doctrine and a pioneering reformer in training efforts. One of Pope Francis's first public appointments. The science of marriage and family. This role has sparked much controversy recently, with heated debates over theological direction and fidelity to the teachings of the Church. With the appointment of Cardinal Re, a deeply respected prelate in Rome, and renowned for his transparency in the matter concerning Pope Leo XIV, he issued a firm statement. How has the Church responded to crises in the fields of family and anthropology? Be steadfast and faithful to your faith, but always keep a heart full of love. The partnership between the two had existed even before he became Pope. The two had worked closely together in Vatican conferences as well as discussions on doctrine and training. The Pope admires Cardinal Ray's ability as he climbs the 14 steps. In teaching the truths of the Church, one must uphold steadfast faith without wavering. On the contrary, Cardinal Ray once praised the courage of the future Pope in steadfastly defending the doctrine. At the same time, they remain deeply committed to their missionary mission. This is not merely an administrative appointment. This is a theological course adjustment made by someone whom the Pope regards as both an outstanding scholar and a devoted pastor. This choice leaves many wondering, is the Church preparing for some kind of confrontation? Facing the challenges of the modern era regarding family and morality. The sentence also evokes a quiet anxiety that without steadfastness, the Church could be swept into the whirlwinds of the times. Cardinal François Xavier Bastiat, III, was a contemplative soul who devoted his entire life to a pure and holy mission. Cardinal François Xavier Bustillo has been appointed as the papal envoy for the 355th anniversary celebration of the apparitions of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And for believers, the commemoration of Jesus is not merely symbolic, but also holds profound spiritual significance. Pope Leo XIV, who throughout his life was guided by a profound devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. The Church often emphasizes the need to listen and understand the suffering hearts of sinners. The selection of Cardinal Bastiat, a Franciscan monk deeply imbued with the spirit of contemplative theology. This is a meaningful decision, clearly reflecting each person's individuality and personal perspective. They bonded through participating in pastoral training activities together in Europe, along with mutual admiration for each other's simple way of life and service and depth in the field of theology. Cardinal Bastiat devoted much effort to writing and preaching about the mercy of Christ in the pure heart. Let that be the motivation to carry out the missionary mission. A thought reflecting the teachings of Pope Leo XIV during his time in Latin America. When Pope Francis sent Cardinal Bastiat to Prelimonial, he entrusted not just a diplomatic mission. At the same time, it is also a precious heritage of Tonthine village. Cardinal Bastiat now brings the Pope's devotion to the world, glorifying that faith across the globe. Can this mission touch the hearts of believers whose faith has grown cold? Or does it make us fear that this world is gradually forgetting the saving love of God? Father Dave Dean Capucha, the second one, is a priest who comes from the suburbs. The appointment of Father Dave Dean Capucha as Bishop of the Diocese of Infanta in the Philippines. He was one of the first international bishops appointed by Pope Leo XIV. However, this would come as no surprise to anyone familiar with his steadfast and focused approach. Focus on supporting humble leaders who are always committed to their mission. The Pope met with Father Capucha during pastoral discussions on issues related to Asia. And for a long time, I have always admired your dedication to disadvantaged communities. Especially in rural and coastal areas, where communities face the dual challenges of poverty and climate change impacts. This choice inevitably raises questions. Is the Pope trying to convey the message that the Church must reach out to the abandoned, to those hidden lives on the margins of society? It also makes people fear that without such shepherds, the cries for help of the poor will be forgotten in the chaotic whirlwind of the modern world. What impressed the Pope most about Father Capucha was the quiet, witnessing life he had lived. Do not exalt yourself, do not chase after personal ideologies, but wholeheartedly serve the souls each day. Through this appointment decision, Pope Francis has clearly demonstrated his deep faith that the future of the Church is not confined to the corridors of power in Rome, but also in the forgotten chapels of distant lands. Now, Bishop Capucha has expressed the Pope's aspirations on his behalf. The bishops carried both the solemn dignity of the cross and the rustic warmth of shepherds, leaving a deep impression of closeness to their flock. Father Miguel Angul Contreras Yeruna, SM, the companion from the missionary region of Peru, once again became the center of attention during Pope Francis's tenure. Father Miguel Angul Contreras Yeruna, of the Society of Mary, has been appointed as Auxiliary Bishop of the CA Lao Diocese. This is not merely a hometown connection, but also a profound brotherly bond. The Pope had known Father Contreras since his days as a bishop in Peru. They offered sacrifices together, embarked on missionary journeys side by side, and steadfastly overcame countless hardships in their mission. They understand the meaning of service amidst bustling cities, impoverished parishes in need, and communities yearning for a deeper spiritual life. The appointment of Father Contreras is both a recognition of his past contributions and a hope for the future. This decision reflects a papacy that values the past, upholds continuity, and trusts in those who have endured many challenging journeys. Bishop Contreras' new role in Callao has positioned him as a pioneer in a church facing the complex challenges of Latin American society, with both sincerity and a compassionate heart. These 5 names all have a reason behind them. They weren't chosen randomly. Every appointment decision, whether publicly announced or made in silence, is a crucial piece in the broader vision Pope Francis is shaping. Titles are no match for trust, media is no match for mission, trends are no match for loyalty. Some in the group had accompanied you in Peru. The others had quietly stood by your side before the Blessed Sacrament. Now, everyone stands with you as you begin to build a church that listens deeply, leads boldly, and serves with a humble heart. This is not merely a series of appointment decisions, but a heartfelt cry from the depths of his soul. Through these individuals, the Church gradually recognizes the portrait of the shepherd that God has given us through Pope Leo XIV. The world is reeling from the devastating impacts of climate change, as a series of natural disasters relentlessly ravage vulnerable communities, from coastal villages in the Philippines to drought-stricken rural areas in Africa. Political and social conflicts are erupting worldwide, from the wave of protests demanding justice in Latin America to escalating geopolitical tensions in Eastern Europe. While technology helps connect people, it is also gradually eroding trust as traditional values are shaken by the wave of secular ideologies and rampant consumerism. Within the Church, the underlying conflicts have now become undeniably apparent. Theological debates on marriage, family, and bioethics have sparked heated controversies, dividing not only the laity but also the clergy. The past scandals still linger as haunting shadows, driving many young believers to turn away from the Church and seek life's meaning in secular philosophies. In Vietnam, Catholics face unique challenges in balancing the preservation of their faith with integrating into a rapidly developing society. And the challenges in evangelizing today's youth, people who are immersed in the world of social media and a lifestyle that prioritizes individualism. In that context, the emergence of the 14th Pope was not merely an event, but also a profound question posed to many. He ascended to the throne of Peter at a time when the world yearned for clear guidance from God. But at the same time, there is doubt about whether the Church is capable of guiding humanity through the darkness. Pope Leo XIV, once a humble bishop in Peru, always carried in his heart the image of impoverished parishes, simple masses, and the times he knelt to serve the poor. But are those experiences enough for you to confront a rapidly changing world like today? He did not go alone. The first ones he appointed went with him, such as Father Edgar, Cardinal Iria, or Father Contreras. Not just companions, but also a sign that he is preparing something great. But what awaits us ahead? A church is forced to confront profound moral dilemmas, along with questions about its mission in an increasingly divided world. And about how to keep the flame of faith burning forever in the heart of every believer. Before him lay a path full of thorns. How to heal the wounds within the church, from theological disagreements to the gradual loss of faith among the faithful. How to lead a global church while facing the challenges of the times, from climate change to social inequality, while still preserving the essence of Catholic teaching? And most importantly, how can we inspire reverence in a world that is growing increasingly indifferent to God? The names Pope Francis has chosen are not just collaborators, but also beacons guiding his mission. They are steadfast companions, the keepers of memories, and also messengers entrusted with their own missions. But do they have what it takes to stand by you and weather the coming storms? Let us explore these choices together, for through them, we will come to understand the heart and soul of the shepherd God has sent for our time.